Hey guys, this is Kristina Sullins, and today I'm going to talk to you about working and building a home-based business in Mommywood. Okay, so I call Mommywood like this fun place in my life where I am building a huge business with a 2-year-old, and I'm currently 37 weeks pregnant with my second daughter. So she's coming in 2 weeks, which is crazy. And I've built this amazing, crazy, fun fitness business through Beachbody. And this year alone, I've hit the highest milestone in the company, which is Superstar Diamond. So one of the questions that I get asked all the time is, how do I do it? How do I work at home with a 2-year-old? How do I work at home with kids? And being a coach now for 7 years, it is totally different than when I was building my business before being a mom. So I just wanted to share with you some of the tips that have worked for me. Okay, so first thing is you have to know that this is totally worth it. I mean, building your own business and putting the time into it now can completely change your life a year from now, 2 years from now, and truly give you personal satisfaction that you're living out your purpose, you're truly helping people, and it's ultimately going to give you freedom. Freedom to live your life by design, meaning how you want to spend your day and how you want to set goals each year and do things with your family that right now may seem impossible. So that is the most important thing, is you really have to understand that taking time out now to build this business, yes, it needs to be fun. Yes, you need to love what you're doing, but you also have to know that in the end, this is totally going to be worth it. It's going to change your life. It's going to allow you to make decisions that maybe you cannot make right now because you're constricted due to time or finances. And this is something that can give you the freedom to break those ties. Okay, so number one is you have to build work hours, and you almost have to carve out time. And I know this is different for everyone. So the hardest time I feel was when Brooklyn was a newborn, because you're not sleeping, and anytime the baby sleeps, you want to sleep, right? And it's just hard to even think clear because you're in a fog, because you're going through a new mom syndrome and you're tired. So for me, I felt like that was the hardest time, even over having a toddler right now. But for the most part, you will figure it out. And there is time in your day that you can carve out to work. So that might be, like I said, getting up in the morning an hour earlier while your kids are sleeping, or babies take a lot of naps. Well, not all babies, but most of them do, right? And as they get older, you have like that set nap time, even if it's an hour, or more. So for me, I know things changed, but in the beginning, I would work during those little spurts of time. So it might have been a half hour here, a half hour there, an hour here, an hour there. In the beginning, when I could work out on while she was sleeping or not sleeping, it worked out great. So in the very beginning, when Brooklyn was still little, I was able to take her down to the family room and actually do my workouts while she was in her swing. She thought it was entertaining. She thought it was funny. So that worked out, because then when she was actually napping, when she was actually sleeping, either I would sleep too if I absolutely had to, or I would get work done, okay? And then the same thing at night. So you can't think that it's going to be something where maybe you're going to work a couple hours straight out. It's going to be little bursts of time if you have really small children. And then now she's older, she's 2, so she goes to school 2 days a week, and she loves it. And that's something that we decided to do, I think she was 1.5 years, for social skills and really for that daily structure of what kids need. So she loves to go to school, she gets excited, and she goes 2 days a week, and those 2 days I work like a workhorse. So I have a to-do list already set up. I have an office now officially, as you can see, in my new house, where I shut the door and nobody comes in, even though the dogs try to come in all day long. And I work from that to-do list and just plow through it. Number 2 is ask for help. And I know this is hard for everyone because we want to do everything on our own, right? We don't want to ask for help. But if your kids are home with you all day long, all the time, how are you going to work, right? Is that what you're asking me, and that's why you're watching this video right now? Well, I'm going to tell you to ask for help from your family or from the people that are already saying, hey, if you ever need any help, and you're always like, oh, no, I got it, because I'm Superwoman, right? You need to come up with a plan of action to carve out time to build your business, to position yourself in a completely different place a year from now, 2 years from now, so that you can have all the time and the freedom you want to do whatever you want with your family, the people that are most important to you. You have to look at it like that. It's not always going to be like this. So if you have family that, or friends, people that are saying, you know, hey, if you ever need help, you know, what I did in the very beginning is I thankfully had my niece who came out 2 days a week to help. Well, Brooklyn was under 1 year, and I would leave the house, ding, 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 go to Starbucks and work. Bring my laptop, bring my to-do list, bring my headphones if I wanted, you know, to really focus and keep quiet. And that way I'm leaving the house, because even if it was for an hour or for 2 hours, you can get a lot done when you're not in an environment that you feel like is pulling you in 10 different directions. So who do you have around you right now that is already offering help, that you could even carve out an hour, a couple days a week? You could go to Starbucks or Panera, wherever they have Wi-Fi. You could sit down with a laptop and really plug in and do your power hours. Okay, number 3 is outsourcing. So this is something that's like totally foreign to most of us. I know it was for me when I was originally building my business, but most people think that, you know, they need to be financially successful or in a certain place to actually start outsourcing. But it's really the complete opposite, because you'll never get ahead unless you have help. And the way that you are going to maximize your time, the small amount of time you're putting into your business, is by doing income producing result activities. So it's not just, you know, scrolling through Facebook and talking to a bunch of people. It really is going to be, you know, a handful of key activities that you're going to just be doing over and over and over again that are going to help your business grow. So for me, when I first had Brooklyn, one of the first things that I did was I tried out, I'm trying to remember the name, it's Peapod. It's a grocery delivery service. Now, if you're sitting there thinking, what? Well, so, you know, so did my mom. My mom was like, what? But here's the thing, right? You spend the time to put the baby in the car, and then you have to drive to the grocery store, even if it's down the street, and then you grocery shop, and then you got to lug it back in the car, and then you got to put it in the house, and then, you know, so it's an hour or 2 hours of your day. Is that time that you could be using elsewhere in your business? When I looked into it, it really wasn't that much more money. And when I had a newborn, oh my gosh, it was just totally worth it. Plus, it saves you tons of time because it saves your grocery list week to week. So I'm not plugging Peapod for you to use it. I'm just giving you an example of places where I saved time. Same thing with house cleaning. It's really just looking at your schedule and looking at, like, where do you spend a lot of time that isn't necessarily moving you forward with your goals or with your family, right? Here's how I personally feel. You can look at, you know, someone cleaning your house, which on average is probably about $70 a week, depending on how big your house is, and how often you have them clean. But women in general, like, we need everything to be clean and neat, or we feel like we're stressed out and we can't work. Not everybody's like that, but a lot of you probably can relate, right? So you might look at, like, well, I don't have $70 right now, or I just couldn't even imagine spending $70 for someone to clean my house. But I started doing this years ago when I was working with Chalene Johnson, and she was drilling it in our heads to outsource this because it is a stress ball on our mind that we don't even realize is there, but it's there. And it prevents us from doing other things because we think, oh, well, I got to do the dishes, or the floors need cleaned, or I'll do that first and then I'll work. And I started outsourcing that when I was making about $100 a week, which is not a lot, but it's something. So one of the things I tell my new coaches is, when you start your business and you start to earn income, what are you going to do with that income? Don't just spend it, right? Really sit down and create a plan of action. And if you start making that income, maybe you do spend it on your house getting cleaned. Oh my gosh. And let's say that is, you know, they come in, they clean your house, and it takes 2 hours. 2 hours that you could be spending with your family. Undivided attention, no stress. 2 hours that you could be working your business. 2 hours that you could be doing something that is moving you forward. So I'm not saying you have to do that. I'm just totally giving you an example of how I've created my life by design, and it really is focused on being a mom and being present in my daughter's life. Spending quality time with my husband and my friends, and building my business, because that's my passion and I love it. So those are my top 3 tips. I hope that helped. For more information on joining my team, you can email me at sullinsfitness@gmail.com or find me on Facebook. Have a great one. Cheers.